You can see that I started to install the zip system structural panels that are water resistant, just about waterproof. I told you I was going to use them both on the sides, exterior sheeting, but also for the roof deck. You can also see that I've put blocking in between the panels right here so I can have positive nailing. Plus, I've glued this as well using galvanized ring shank nails. This thing's going to be strong, and I want it to be. I want strong shear walls. I want this thing to stay firm and not rack. And we're going to make this as strong as we can. The roof rafters, instead of using ply clips, those little guys that go in between the sheets, I'm going to block solid for my nailing on my seams on the roof as well. This panel's about to go up right here. You can see where I've glued, and I'm getting ready to install this. As I may have mentioned before, we've got the zip wall installed on the back of the trailer now, and I've even got it taped off with their tape. And since I had the tape, which I didn't have before, I've gone ahead and taken that tape that I had up from that rain, preparation the other day, and put down the zip tape, which is a better product for this application. It's the same company, the Avantech system. So we're really trying to take care of things, and now we're going to move forward with the rafters. I've got this wall stood here, and it's not quite the front of the trailer. Remember now, there's a 1 foot offset here, or overhang on the tongue. You can see down there. But I installed this series of studs, or cripple and king stud there, to accept that LVL. I wanted to transfer the weight to this wall, which is the front of the Murphy bed, because I just don't want any more weight any further out than I have to from even just this distance over the tongue. So what that means is, you can see this wall here goes back over to that wall with the shed roof, and the rafters will go along that line there. And of course I can't do my studs until I get my rafters up, because each stud is a different length, obviously, because it's not a level top of wall. But I want to show you what I've done with these rafters. You can see here that here's the seat cut for this wall right here to sit on the LVL, and then this is that foot that's going to be here, and there'll be another wall right here coming up. But what I want to do first is get these rafters to come over, because this wall is going to be a shorter wall because it's all going at that pitch. And then finally, you see the overhang here of 10.5 to ready for the 2x fascia board, which will give me a 12 inch overhang. So that's the way it looks on this end. Seat cut for the LVL, top plate up there, the 1 foot overhang, and then the actual soffit overhang. So let's go look at the other end. These are in around the 16 foot range as far as length. This is the top seat cut that'll sit up on top of the wall up there, very high up, 10'6" off of the floor. Now here's my 10.5 overhang here, and that's to accept the 2x fascia there. And I've got this thickness on all my overhangs at 3 inches. And the reason I've done that is because I have to have some blocking. You'll see when I do the fascia, I'll explain it more. But I wanted my return around my eave to be uniform. But I'm going to talk here in a minute about these rafters. So here's the rafter, and as you can see, it comes down to just short of 16 feet. But here's the thing, if you look at it this way, I want my overall length of my roof to be 16 feet, because that means I have even sheets of plywood at 4 feet wide. 4 times 4 is 16. So what I think I'm going to do is cut 3 inches off of these rafters. So that's 1, 2, 3, to make the rafters 5'9" or 15'9", sorry. But I'm going to take it off each end so they'll be uniform. I kind of caught that, and I felt like I didn't want a strip of plywood up there. Let's try and work within the modular. Did pretty good to have the rafter at 16 feet to begin with, and that's the only cutoff I had. The other thing you'll notice is that if you look at this rafter, I've got just a simple, I don't know if I explained this before, the 10.5 overhang, but on this other rafter, these are the ones that'll go out on the ends. That's the 10.5, I mean the 12 for the offset right there, plus the 10.5 overhang. And that happens just on the corners because there'll be a little bit of a wraparound soffit there, if you can imagine that. And so these are two rafters, just slightly different than what I'm calling the common rafters that'll go along this wall. Of course, we'll get these up and this thing will really start to take shape. The rafters are going in real well. You can see out there at the end, the one tail that's got the 3-inch cut that's going to have the extension soffit around the corner, and then the commons here. But I want to just show you these seat cuts. They look pretty tight and good. So let's watch as we pull this one into position and listen for it to click up top on the seat cut up on top, and it kind of locks everything in together. So isn't that cool? Whoop, there we go. Get that level, and then you can look up, and it's sitting on its seat cut up there like those guys. Of course, this is the view from the top. We'll just demonstrate this seating here. Again, this is a plumb cut, meaning that it's plumb to the ground level. But this is going to be a square cut, meaning it's square to the edge. I just wanted to do that for architectural reasons. So these are plumb. Of course, this has been the seat cut here. Let's slide this down in position and listen for it to click down at the other end, meaning it's hitting the wall. Boom, there it is. And then we'll just screw that in place. Nice tight fit. It's really shaping up. I'm standing on the back part of the tiny house now. And I've just got this plywood and just laid up here, screwed in a couple of places to help dry in. It's kind of like a big shingle effect right here. But I just didn't want to get caught up with all the fascia and the real installation here, because the goal, remember now, is to get this thing dried in as quickly as possible. Then I can come and do all this stuff properly. But since we're here now at the top of the trailer, or the tiny house, this is kind of the moment of truth, because here is the highest point, right? We got the 1.5 or 2, a 2x6 fascia here, and then whatever the 1/2-inch roof deck plus the metal. So up and around here is our top of house, and of course you're limited to 13.6. So let's see what we are. So here we are, the moment of truth, down to the ground. I've got this tape. You can see where 13.6 is, and obviously we're very close, but I also have the trailer essentially jacked up probably a couple of inches, and it's not on the spring, so I think we're going to be just fine.